Hello, everyone. It is the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and I'm super psyched to have Simon Miller on the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Like I said, I'm really flattered to be asked to be on here. I don't know why. I'm still at that point where people say, Simon, do you want to do an interview? I'm like, did you mean to message me? Like, do you actually want to chat to me? So I'm very flattered and humbled to be here. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm so excited we were able to make it happen. I mean, first things first, we were kind of discussing this prior to recording, but for everyone who's viewing, let everyone know how you're holding up with things going on in the world and how you've been.
Yeah, it's all good. Like, on this day that we are recording it, the UK has reopened sort of retail stores, as we were discussing, which means now if you want to go get some cheap clothes from Primark, you can go and queue up for 3 hours for the privilege. I have decided that I don't want to do this, so I'm not going to bother. But look, I'm sure you get it as well. I've been very lucky in the sense that I've had stuff like this, right? I've had the YouTube content and other things that, I mean, it hasn't been as smooth sailing as it would be usually. But having that, especially when people have been locked in their houses and they want content through the internet. So I have been very lucky. I understand that I was in a very privileged position. So, yeah, I've done all right. But certainly looking forward to the world going back to as normal as it can do, yeah.
Me too. That's going to be so lovely whenever that's announced. Like, it's just going to be the whole world cheering together. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But you had mentioned there how you've been doing a lot of filming from home and a lot of stuff online, a lot of online content, which you were, of course, no stranger to prior to the pandemic. But I do find that something for me that's been the silver lining in all of this is that now people have a lot more time to be a guest on the show. They're not traveling and all of that. So do you find that you're almost busier now because of that sense? You have more time to film and you're not constantly on the go?
I do, yeah. Like, genuinely, that's the crazy thing because I think, I know, because I've followed you for a while. I know you're the same. I think you're like me. You just like to have 7,000 things happening at any one time and going here, there. For some reason, that's just how our brains work.
Just us.
Yeah, so all of a sudden to be told, oh, no, you can't go anywhere. You need to stay in your house. It was like, okay, well, what can I do? And I got my giant green screen, which is literally right here. So I thought I'll just start creating more content. And luckily there was a demand for that. So I managed to sort of, as opposed to traveling here, traveling there, I was based in my house. But yeah, I had a bunch of stuff to do, which is great. Because let's face it, after a while, you get a bit bored of these four walls all the time and everything else. So I have been. Especially the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, I've somehow been busier, which I never thought was possible.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre how it works out in a sense. Like, at least we have something to do and we're not going stir crazy. But you mentioned how you've been creating content, but the other thing you've been creating is a lot of really delicious looking meals. Like, you have been cooking a ton. I love when they pop up because I'm just like, oh, yep, another good one. That looks good. So have you always liked to cook, or has it come out of more necessity now because of being home?
Boredom. It's literally boredom. I was like, okay, I'm allowed to go to the supermarket and I'm allowed to go in my kitchen. Obviously, no one can stop me doing that. So, yeah, and one of the things I got into in 2020, I've always been into lifting weights and going to the gym. But I got into YouTube fitness and watching other people, and I started doing a little bit of that too. And the thing that I was drawn to were all these, like, crazy recipes of people making like protein ice cream and protein French toast. I'm like, this is brilliant. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to start baking. So I did some of that. And then I thought, okay, I'll try some more quote unquote normal things. Yeah, I whipped up some scones the other day, or scones, whichever one it is. I have no idea. And I was like, what am I doing? But I did. Again, I think that's something that I'll actually look back on. It wasn't intentional. I'm not going to pretend I was like, oh, I'm going to learn a new skill. But something that actually came out of it, because people are learning languages and, doing all these cool things. I kind of taught myself to, I'm not very good at it, but I'm better than I was. So
right.
And now I find it quite relaxing. I don't think I'm going to stop. I'm going to continue making these treats and yeah, I'll see what happens.
That's awesome. I mean, what would you say is one of the better meals or dishes you've made over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I threw the scones in there for that very reason. I was very impressed.
You're like, that was the one thing that was actually.
Yeah, but no, I did. One of the other things, it's one of the things I started with, is I did make this, it sounds disgusting. And when I heard somebody else talking about it, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I made myself a chicken-based protein pizza. And I was like, that genuinely sounds disgusting. I was like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. But I thought I'd try it again. I got time on my hands. So I tried it. Oddly delicious. Genuinely oddly delicious.
When you say chicken base, do you mean like instead of sauce, you like grind down chicken into almost like a paste?
I mean, instead of the bread, you take a bunch of chicken and I know it sounds awful, but you take a bunch of chicken, you mix it up in a blender or food processor, whatever you've got. You then cook that for a certain amount of time, and then you put on I was putting on like low calorie pizza sauce and low calorie cheese, and you eat that. So not only do you get a crazy amount of protein, it does it taste as good as a real pizza? Of course it doesn't. I'm not going to try and hoodwink you. That would be ridiculous. But it's oddly nice. So if you do have a craving for pizza, I'm just saying, there's loads of recipes out there for it, including mine.
I had never heard of that before, but I mean, people love chicken on top of pizza, whether it's like buffalo chicken. So I could kind of see the flavors working, kind of.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, you got to be brave. I'm not gonna lie. I had to sort of build myself up, like roll the shoulders, like all right, here we go. But then when I ate it, yeah, I tell you, I made it for some other people too, and I had to again force them into it, like eat this, but they liked it as well. So I'm gonna call it a success.
That's awesome. You never know what you're going to end up liking. And that's the beauty of being able to just try stuff now. You have the time. It's not like it's a total waste. You may as well try it.
Oh, yeah. If you had told me that I was going to spend lockdown making chicken-based protein pizzas, like, oh, I've gone crazy, have I? Awesome. But I've had a blast, so it's all good.
That's wonderful. Something I've noticed people are tagging you a lot in recently are a ton of throwback photographs. They just seem to be coming up really often and very randomly. And your face there kind of sums it all up.
Yeah.
Every time I feel like you caption on it, like, yep, that's the time I had hair. Look at me back then. Well, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that this is the thing, like, and I appreciate it. People are very, very nice. And they see pictures of me with hair and they're like, kill it with fire. Because Simon shouldn't have hair because they're not used to it, right? They're not used to it. Like before I entered the whole YouTube game, I had hair and then I shaved it off because I was losing it. But what they don't understand is that for, like 27 years of my life, I had hair. And now for sort of 5 years, I haven't had hair. So to me, it's still a loss. I'm still trying to come to terms with it. But
still
to them,
healing.
I am, exactly, but to them it's like, what's this crazy thing? But it's become, I mean, it's not like a massive thing, but yeah, people for some reason, and I do appreciate it because I find it funny, have got into this weird, I don't know what the word would, but they just enjoy seeking out pictures of me with hair and then tweeting them at me or Instagramming me saying, hey Simon, is this you? I'm like, you know it's me. Why are we playing this game? Look, I love it. I think any kind of engagement like that is great. But it does hurt because obviously I'm screwed now. I can't grow it back. I'm bald for life. So
they treat it kind of like a unicorn horn. Like they think it's not possible at all for you to have had hair 5 years back.
They do. They think I was just born bald and that was it. I never had hair at all, which is upsetting because it means all my hair days stand for nothing. It's just in the toilet now. But
aside from the hair aspect, when you are seeing these older photographs, or even maybe some that haven't come to fruition, just ones about fads you went through or phases, is there any part of your life you look back on and you just think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wore that, or I looked like that, or I did that?
Oh yeah, there is one. That's how it started. Actually, this was a good couple of years ago now. Someone found I grew my hair out really long, sort of 10 years ago, and I mean it is excessively long to be honest. But I was in that phase, I'm just going to grow it, and then you kind of get a few months down the line, like, okay, now I need to go and have somebody sort this out. And somebody found that one and tweeted it to me. And I remember the time I thought it looked great. And I kind of looked back and I was like, no, Simon, it's a terrible idea. Because the worst thing about it was as well, and this sums up my mother for you. I went home I must have been I think I was down in Bournemouth, which was one of my first jobs. And I went home and my mum saw this long hair. She goes, oh, I'm going to dye it. Because my mum likes all this hairdressing stuff. I was like, no. But she was so insistent. It's hard to say no to your mum, right? So she dyed it like bright blonde as well. And it's awful. It's genuinely awful. And again, I can't stop that picture circulating. That comes up at least once every 6 months. But it's good to remember your past. That's how we grow, right? That's how we evolve. So I don't mind.
Absolutely. You look back and you think never again, and you just keep trucking forward.
No wonder I lost my hair and let my mum put all this stupid dye in it.
It literally fried itself off.
It really did. It really, really did. There's a whole. If anyone that's watching as well that has gone bald, I feel your pain. Nobody understands. It's really difficult to accept. I was like trying to hide it and putting stuff in my hair for years. Yeah, you just got to accept it. Once you can't. Well, unless you've got like $5,000 and you want to go do the surgery. But I can't be bothered with that. Sounds like a hassle. I don't want to do that. I'm happy being bald.
Yeah, it was when I was working with Anthony Corelli, and he actually got it done. And he was telling me about, he was telling me about the process and just how it looks painful. And then I started watching videos about it. I'm like, oh my God, this looks terrifying, like terrifying. I mean, you do what you got to do, but.
Do they take hair from other parts of your body, right? And then they weave it in or something?
I think it's from like the back, like the underside of your hairline, like the back of your head. And then they pluck each individual hair. It just sounds like torture. I don't know.
Sounds horrible. I don't know, but it looks good though. Like I know someone that's had it done, and I hadn't seen them in ages, so I missed them in the middle, and he just grew his hair back. It looked brilliant. So I guess fair play
Right,
to
if
them.
it works, it works.
Oh yeah, I massively respect it. I wouldn't be ashamed if I got it done. I'd tell everyone. I'm like, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
And look what I've done. Some people seem to be ashamed of it. Never be ashamed.
No, never. Embrace it. Whether it's bald or getting the transplant, just embrace it now.
Exactly. Just embrace it either way. Embrace your hair. I knew we were going to be talking about hair today, Alicia. I knew it. Deep down, I was like, this is where the conversation will go.
Totally. You never know with me.
Yeah.
Well, a huge congratulations is in order, as you recently got a very special plaque from YouTube for hitting 100,000 subscribers, which is massive. I feel like everyone on YouTube, we strive for that kind of stuff. And when you hit it, it really is a really exciting moment. So how surreal was it for you to know all your work and everything and actually come to that point and you got it?
Oh, it's crazy because it was never my. This makes me sound like an asshole. I don't mean it to, but my personal channel was never really my. But it was my focus. It was never my main focus. Like I made my own channel because I just wanted. I didn't want it to be a wrestling channel or a fitness channel or what else do I like? Batman, whatever, metal music. I wanted it to be just me. So I thought, because I like being creative and I like making stuff. So I was like, I'm going to ignore all these YouTube rules. I'm not going to focus. I'm just going to make content that I want to make. And if people want to watch it, awesome. And if people don't want to watch it, I don't have to worry about it because I can focus on other projects that I deem more, not important because I love my channel, but just I was making a living from that. So I was like, this can just be my sort of passion project. So to actually get to a point where, I do have it's not a massive community on YouTube, but, a community of any sorts. And to get to that milestone, which again, when you start a YouTube channel, but I didn't. I don't know whether you did. I never thought, I get to 100,000 subscribers one day. That was it. Just blew my brain. So to get it, and then for a stupid plaque to turn up saying "well done," like, this blows your brain. You're like, how? What? Yeah. So it really did mean a lot to me, especially because people in a world where the internet can be quite negative and nasty, I seem to have this community on my YouTube channel who's just relaxed and nice and cool. It's
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I don't understand. I don't understand because I think I know that you have that, and I know that Chris Van Vliet has it as well because I talk to you guys, and and then to sort of get a thing like that, which, like you say, rubber stamps it and goes, hey, you did all right to the point we want to send you something. Yeah, it was really, really, really cool, and it's a great motivator too. As soon as I got that, I was like, right, now it's 200,000.
On to the next.
Yeah, so now I got to push up. So I sometimes, YouTube I find can be a bit of a dangling carrot. Because you get to 100, then you want 110, then you want 150, and one video somehow blows up, and I want all my videos to blow up, which isn't realistic. But I do enjoy the process, and I enjoy the immediate feedback of just being able to throw a video out there and see what happens. But the 100,000 plaques, it was cool. It was. I'm not going to pretend I didn't enjoy it. I definitely did.
And it's one of those things that I'm definitely making my way towards because, like you, I started my site from scratch, DIY. It's the editing from everything behind the scenes, the coordinating. It's all us. It's all me on my site. So it's really cool when you even get to like 50, 60, and you start seeing the momentum and everything picking up. And I can only imagine like the door going, and you're like, oh yeah, it's not a dream. This is legit.
Yeah, and they send it in sort of real nice packaging too. So it feels like an award. It feels like you want to do a quick speech and go, thank you so much. But you'll definitely get there. Like in the last couple of years, you've been flying through. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get to 100 and then you'll just fly.
We're trying. We're just gonna keep on trucking and see where we get. So something you had mentioned prior is how you not only do stuff within the wrestling world, but also fitness. And something that I've really been enjoying lately happens to be ups and downs. It's just a really cool outlook. It's super clever, and it's almost like the most simple title that no one's thought of. It's awesome. I really enjoy watching it. So I was curious for you. Obviously, there are so many ups and downs in both of those industries. But right now, is there something in specific that just gets on your nerves that completely it's a huge pet peeve of yours in either business?
Well, yeah. Well, in wrestling, I don't like the surprise roll up. in WWE.
I saw you tweet about that recently.
They are obsessed with ending every single match with a. Actually, I say I don't like it. Now I kind of do, because ironically it's gone full circle, and now it makes me chuckle, because I'm like, why do you? And I actually, yeah, on the show we've started a tally now, and we only started the tally in March, or only 3 months in, and it's already up to 41. That's a lot of wrestling matches finishing with a surprise roll-up. But I love it. Like, I don't take wrestling too seriously, because I think that kind of defeats the point. In fitness, like I said, I've only kind of dived into the fitness YouTube world this year, but my word, there's a lot of scalping going on. There is a lot of don't listen to this guy, and then that guy responds, don't listen to that guy. I'm like, guys, let's all calm down. There's plenty of fitness information to go around. But I always find that interesting. It was the same when I got into sort of wrestling YouTube as well. There's always a couple of guys that just seem to hate each other and will just throw shots. And like, I used to do gaming stuff too, and it was the same. There's always a couple of sites that just want to throw barbs at each other. And I don't understand, because YouTube, you essentially have billions of people. Like, some videos have hit 1 billion views. When you have an audience of 1 billion, I don't think you need to try and drag anybody else down. I think you can just be happy with your lot. So yeah, they would be those things. But I try not to. With stuff like crazy comments and everything like that, I just take it all in my stride. It doesn't matter. I mean, sometimes people go too far, but these people are crazy. So I try and ignore them. But yeah, but that always sucks. But no, like with the fitness stuff, it's been an interesting year learning about sort of some of the stuff that's out there, because there is a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of videos saying, "Oh, you can get abs in 3 days." And I'm like, no, you can't. Like if you're a 10 stone
overweight, that was the case. Come
yeah,
on.
you know what I mean? Like if you're overweight by 10 stone, no one's getting you abs in 3 days. It's just not doing it. They're going to draw it on you or something. So yeah, I kind of find that a little bit disingenuous, because you shouldn't be selling anybody a lie, especially in fitness, which is so hard to begin with. But hey, you're never going to stop people like that.
Yeah, that's so bizarre. And I agree with you when it comes to the comments and stuff. Like, we're very lucky that our communities are fairly positive. I mean, you get the odd troll, and most of the time it's about my appearance, not even the work. So as long as you like the work, I don't take offense to it. So it's, it's one of those things. We really did luck out in that regard. Do the negative comments bug you at all anymore? Is it to a point where you're just like, I don't even care. Like, I know what I'm doing. I've I've made my own path at this point. I have these people supporting me. So, deuces to all of the negative people.
I think most people go through a process with it, or at least I did, and I've talked to other people that have as well. They really suck at first, because I think you have to get through the whole, why are people saying these horrible things to me? But the way that my brain dealt with it, and I think it's quite unique, is I kind of wear it like a badge of honor now, because if somebody watches any of my stuff and they're so annoyed with what I've said, they are going to go into the comment section or actually find me on Twitter, which is a whole other effort all in itself, just to tell me that they think I'm like a massive dickhead or something. I'm like, wow, I affected your life that much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I deal with it now. If somebody actually wants to tell me how much they despise me, I'm like, dude, the effort you've put in to do this, and ultimately, like, again, you'll understand this, the whole game is about engagement. It's about views, it's about likes, it's about comments, it's about subscriptions. That's just interacting with people. So I sound like John Cena, but it's true. As long as people care either for the good or the bad, I'm happy. As long as people actually give two hoots, they can say whatever the hell they want. And now, it doesn't. I've had so much stuff thrown at me. I don't think there's nothing new that anybody can come up with. I get one major insult all the time, which people think is hilarious. And no one ever believes the stories, but it's true. I'd never heard of him in my life. This was years ago. And I still get around about 50 to 100 times a day. People going, oh, you look like Johnny Sins. You look like Johnny Sins. You look like Johnny Sins.
So I was doing research going into this. My screen right now is so perplexed, it's like out of focus. I was doing research for our interview, going through some of your latest tweets and stuff. And I was like, who is that? Like, I've never heard of this guy. And so, when you usually Google someone, like related stuff comes up. Nothing came up. So I had to actually press it. And then you can continue with your story. I was like, oh, okay.
Yep. And that is how I found this out. And it was so long ago. I had an office job at the time too. And I searched for this man on my office computer and then was like, oh no, this is bad. I had to go and explain to the boss, look, this is not me being weird. I showed him the comments. I was like, I just didn't know. But now I know. Now I know who it is. And yeah, I mean, I get that. That's the one I get the most, but I don't care. It's funny. It's funny. It's all good with me.
I mean, at least it's not really an insult. They're just saying you look similar to someone. Like, you know, I would
That
just take it
happens.
that way.
Yeah, that happens to be involved in the sex industry. I mean,
So
but it's
funny.
just, they could. I mean, I'm not, I don't think that I look like him. But if we're just going with bald guys, why couldn't we have gone with Jason Statham? I would have much preferred that. A bald British dude. That would have worked.
I never thought we'd go full circle to talking about the baldness again. Look at us go.
It's been the theme. Well, that seems to be my defining quality. I've learnt this. So I'm here to represent bald man across the world.
That is too funny. Well, I really do want to say thank you so much, Simon, for taking the time to hop on here. I'm really glad that we were able to make this happen and that I finally have had you on.
Oh no, thank you for having me. Like again, genuinely very flattered that you asked, and yeah, keep kicking ass as well, because I keep seeing all your stuff on social media as well, and you're here, there, and everywhere, and I always respect that people that just want to throw themselves into things. So yeah, keep it up.
Thank you. Same to you. From the very jump, ever since discovering who you were and what you did and watching all of the older videos, honestly, I was like, man, this guy's actually like really doing something different. He's really good at it. So I've always looked at you to that, whether it's research or just like a good laugh during a video. So yeah, same to you. Keep kicking ass and just thank you a ton again.
You're very, very welcome. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon.
Absolutely. Everyone, this has been Simon Miller. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out aliciaatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.